understand why Camas is given a good name, and it's not by accident either. The amount of work, dedication, and passion the team of teachers I work with put in teaching every single day is far beyond expectation. This is actually a perfect opportunity to show Camas teachers how valued they really are by properly allocating the state money that's earmarked for educator salaries. Camas has been trailblazers in defining what great schools are, and I think we should just keep on being trailblazers in Southwest Washington by giving teachers the long-awaited compensation that we deserve. Thank you.
It's really helpful to me because we know as teachers we have to keep continuing ed classes every 5 years, and that comes out of our pocket, but Camas School District helps pay for that too, so I'm very appreciative of that. I've also felt very valued in Camas from my teacher voice. I've been fortunate enough to have my voice heard in many ways. Learning walks, learning labs, the coaching pathway I've taken, mentoring new teachers, participated in the Go Forth Academy a few years ago. I've been a teacher learning leader, and for me, I felt like it was a voice that I could stand for my fellow teachers. However, I ask school board that you listen to our teacher voice now. One way that increased teacher salary would affect my family is by health care. I carry insurance for myself and my 2 children. My husband's insurance is provided by his work. We have had to take a higher deductible each month just to get more out of pocket in my paycheck. Unfortunately, we've kind of played Russian roulette, hoping that no major health care comes up, no crises occurs. This year, however, my son is being referred to some specialists, and my husband and I are kind of thinking, what is the least expensive way that we can make these things happen? Not something that we want to do, but something we're forced to do.
Everybody to know, I think that the comments that I wrote reflect CEA, they reflect myself, they do not reflect the school board or the bargaining team. And I very much thank you guys for this opportunity to speak to you, that you allow us to do this. It's fantastic. I know you're not up there punching a buzzer and cutting us off with the hook, and that's fantastic. And I think we all do feel very valued in many, many ways. And this is just a point where come to heads a bit. So if you all play along just for a moment, I'm going to pass these out. Feel free to flip it over or whatever. Just maybe don't read it out loud until I ask you to. It's make it free because I figured you'd be recording here. This process, if I just speak to you, you hear my words. The words that I heard are moving and they're great, but I've already forgotten half of them at least. And I'm going to forget more as we get more verbalization tossed at us. If you guys are, for a second I had you standing up and whatnot, I thought, why am I having them do this? This seems contrived. I felt as though if you were willing to read the comments, it would put you in a level of engagement that you could never be in if I just speak at you. So, like I said, you're willing to deny that. I'm more than happy to read them. I feel like it would be much more powerful for myself and for you if you internalize the words and verbalize them yourselves. So,
I tell you what, I will ask the board, and I know staff, we'll read these. I don't want to,
I don't want you to read them in a small group. I want it to be verbalized to our whole group. I feel like that's the power.
We're having a public hearing. It's an opportunity for the board to hear your comments.
Sure.
This is something that's a little different structure than that, and I would encourage the board, please read the comments when you can. But you have about a minute if you want to continue your comments, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
I actually don't exactly know what to do because I thought there's no way that they'll turn down an opportunity to engage in a manner in which an educator is approaching them in a way that's engaging, it's useful. I actually collaborated with another CHS educator to put this together. It's exactly what you guys are hoping your teachers will do. So to be shot down is kind of unbelievable. I'll blast through this real quick. Camas is the best school I've ever taught at, period. That was to be read by Jason. I'd use their last names, but I don't know them all. I don't know how to pronounce them all as well. And I'm in a rush now. Students at Camas High School actually thanked me for doing my job, me personally. That was to be read by Marilyn. Being a great teacher in the Camas School District is about building relationships. However, this process, it's about salaries. And that was to be read by Charlene. The least this district can do for its teachers is approve a competitive pay. We aren't even asking for top pay. We're merely asking for competitive pay. And in fact, I was wrong in my order. That was actually to be read by Jason. Camas should have been the first district in Washington to negotiate for fair and competitive salary. I want our Camas School District to lead by example at this.
And I've seen the growth in 16 years. And part of this growth is because of the great school district. Yeah, it's a beautiful area to live, but there's lots of beautiful areas here in the Northwest. It's because of the school district that are pulling these people here and here. And so to support the test scores, to support this education that we so proudly talk about, we need to support the teachers, because that's where it comes from, is the teachers in our school. So thank you.
So we have gone over our time. I wanted to share with you all, thank you. I know that this is a chance for you all to be at home tonight with your families, and instead you came down here to communicate your message to the board and to the administrative team. And I interestingly echo many of the things that you all have talked about, the great aspects of our district, the long legacy of investment in our education, and how this community has developed a personality around that. I'm optimistic that we'll find a solution, a way out. I think it's not as close as I would have hoped. Maybe it is, but I'm not on that group sitting at the table. Some of you may be, and I know we have some here. So I'll remain optimistic. This will find a solution. And Superintendent Snell, I'd certainly offer, or give you a chance if you'd like to offer any.
Yeah, first just thank you all for coming and acknowledge the heartfelt words that you shared tonight. It's interesting that we weren't all in this room last year, or the year before, or the year before that, or the year before that. We've been able to do the things that you've talked about consistently here. And so I ask, as we think about this problem that's very complex, that we think about why we're all here today and what's different. I know that you are all the same great people that have taught my kids, that I've seen teach, amazing staff. And I'm still the same person as well. And I still do the work the way I think that needs to be done for students and staff. So what's changed is our model here. And we're gonna get through this, and it'll be challenging, and to be honest, probably won't please anybody when we're all done with it, because it's a complex problem. And when we look at complex problems, there's not yes or no, up or down, pass or fail kinds of solutions. That's just the reality of what we're faced as a community. And we'll get through it if we stick together on it. And I know that I asked for trust, and that probably is naive. But the reality is that's the only way we'll get through it. Because public schools are kind of under attack on this. And the reality is that we were side by side as we were advocating for funding and all the things that we wanted with McCleary, and here it is, and it's not exactly as it was promised. So at the negotiation table, we continue to have conversations. The leadership of CEA is amazing. The leadership of our other groups are amazing. They're doing the best they can. I wish there was an easy solution. I wish it was that simple. It's certainly given me insight on all the other complex problems that we're trying to solve in our world, and it's given me a little pause to think differently about some of the judgments I make on those problems and how I think that there's just an easy solution. So thank you for coming tonight. Thanks for putting so much thought into it. I would love to have you at every board meeting, because with what Ellie's talking about, the transparency, the reason she can cite that Elise Anderson was here is because she's at the board meetings, right? And she's reading the budget and she's asking questions. Ellie, how many times have we talked about 24 credits? A lot.
I'm still talking.
I know, right? And so that is part of the process. That these are our schools, our district, right? Our budget, and we have to make decisions that balance a lot of priorities. So thank you again for coming, and we'll keep working on this and look forward to a solution.